Yeah, my name is Peter Link, and I live in Sendai, and I play with the Sendai Philharmonic Orchestra. Several years ago, I played with the 296 Army Band on Camp Zama, Japan. When the earthquake happened, I was actually just arriving to the concert hall. We had a dress rehearsal for a concert that evening. The dress rehearsal was to start at 3 o'clock. And I walked in the hall probably 20 minutes before the dress rehearsal was to start. I walked on the stage over to my friend Henry, who is a violinist in the orchestra, and I was just walking over to him to say hello, and then the stage and the building and everything just started shaking really hard. When you went outside the hall, facing towards the subway station, there's a supermarket, and there was just shaking. All the power was out, broken glass. There was a couple of buses outside of the station that were just going back and forth really hard. A water main busted in the middle of the street. Water shot up. The hall, sidewalk outside of the hall kind of popped up in several places. And I was still trying to get through to my wife the whole time while people were just kind of on the ground, waiting for it to stop, and it wouldn't stop. And then when I couldn't get through to my wife, then I realized that I needed to get out of there, and so I went back in the building as people were evacuating to get my instrument, and I grabbed my instrument. The tsunami had no effect on me or my family personally. We live in the mountainside, close towards Izumigatake. So in that regard, we were very lucky to have not been affected by the tsunami. Immediately following, obviously it was, there was panic, and it was very surreal because obviously power was out in my neighborhood, no power, no water, no gas, and the next day, within inside of my housing area, there is a small supermarket. My wife and I walked over to the supermarket to pick up groceries. We were hosting a couple other families, and we went over there. There was a long line to get food, and they were selling food outside of the supermarket, whatever they could sell. So we picked up as much as we could with one run-through, one basket, and went back. And that's kind of when it really hit me as to what had just happened, because I've felt several earthquakes, obviously nothing like that one. But at that point, you really knew, it just seemed like every day or every hour that went by that you could really start to see what the effects of the earthquake and probably more so than tsunamis. I don't, as of right now, that I know of, I haven't been in contact with all of my friends, my colleagues within the Sendai Philharmonic. As far as I know, everybody's okay, and everybody's home is virtually okay. Everybody obviously, received some damage to their homes. As far as friends, and I have students as well. I've been in contact with most people, but not everybody. And another guy, Kikuchi-san. Kikuchi-san is the gentleman who has been sponsoring the 296 Army Band to come up to Sendai for several years, 14, 15 years. He is also in the shelter right now with his wife. I believe his home was damaged or destroyed via the earthquake. From what I was told, living in a shelter with a max capacity of 200, but there's 1,800 people in the shelter. Obviously, supplies are limited. He was saying he was sharing a piece of bread with his wife a day. This was as of a few days ago. I'm on my way right now to orchestra office to drop off a bunch of food and supplies that were donated and collected by the Army Band there on Camp Zama. This was coordinated essentially by myself and Sergeant First Class Fred Crowler of the band and Sergeant First Class Lance Powell. They made the call to other guys in the band and asked them to donate anything they could, perishables, canned food, stuff like this to families within the orchestra and anybody else who I can get it to. Okay, thank you. And let the people know what's going on up here.